Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video we're going to be working on the Talon Fighter for the Masters of the Universe board game Battleground. These were only available online or through trade shows, so I'm quite fortunate to have picked one up. The plastic parts come on a sprue and the manual is available online only. So without further ado, let's open the box and check out the contents. It looks like an awful lot, but it isn't. All the cards are printed in multiple languages, you need to sift through and get rid of the ones you don't want. Then you're left with something like this. Let's crack on and get this guy assembled. The first step is to use a pair of snips and remove the parts. Then using the hobby knife or mini file, you can clean those up. The first thing it tells you to assemble is the pilot. This consists of the upper body, the lower body, the left arm and the right arm. And then using some plastic cement, takes no time at all to get this guy assembled. She can be put to one side for now while we work on the cockpit. We need to attach a pair of side panels to the back. These have a pair of blasters on them which help you line them up. And then that can be glued on to the lower half of the body. You may notice some large gaps. No need to worry about those, something will fill that space later. And the base comes in two pieces. You have the main detail base plus the extension. And right at the very top is where the Talon Fighter's feet are supposed to be attached. For me this base is too cluttered, so I'm going to simplify it. So I've dug out a replacement base for my box of spares. Now I just need to separate the feet from this wooden base it's stood on. There's still a little bit of the wooden platform underneath, but it's okay, we can disguise that. I'm mixing together some milliput to create the new base texture. This is a two-part epoxy that can be used to make just about anything. So I spread it out across the base, and this doesn't need to be perfectly even. Then I roll over it my detailed pattern roller. This makes it look like the base is all cracked and damaged, like it's been exposed to the dry heat of the sun for too long. Now I'm pushing in the imprint of the feet, so once it's dried I can line them up and glue it into place. But for now I need to attach on the legs. Then before anything has a chance to set, I also glue on the body. This will allow me a chance to make adjustments before everything is permanently locked into place. Once the glue is dried, I remove the fighter from the base so that it can set in its own time, and I can get back to finishing off the fighter. As you can see, I'm attaching the rear panel which has the thrusters on it. Then I've got the beak with the side blasters to attach, and I won't lie, the instructions are not clear for this. They show the before and after, but don't tell you what to do in between. It requires a lot of brute force to clip the sides into place. I even snapped one of the blasters which needed reattaching with glue, and now I can attach the front control panel. You may have noticed that the canopy has a lot of windows in it, but it doesn't actually come with any glass. Although I do have some thin transparent plastic, I am going to consider cutting this out and gluing this in place of the windows. I think personally the only problem I have is the pilot might be too big, and I might not be able to fit both in together, but we'll cross that bridge later. And now the final part to add is the radar dish on top. Now we can crack on with the painting. I used the rusty red for the base, then a dry brush yellow ochre on top of that, as I'm going for the dried earth look. Then the base is finished off by adding a clean black trim. Next I move on to the interior of the Talon Fighter. I painted it a white grey so we stand a chance of seeing it when the lid goes on. Then I covered all the controls in black panel liner, and this will really make all those tiny buttons stand out. Then I went through and added very bright colours over random screen buttons and controls. So I added in some green, yellow, red and white. All this detail in the cockpit will probably be lost once the top goes on, but it's nice to know that it's there anyway. I then went ahead and painted the canopy in blue. I'm still undecided if this is going to be detachable or glued into place. Now it's time to get the pilot done. She's predominantly in a red uniform and got a silver helmet. Then I added blue to the upper part of the fighter. Then went ahead and painted the red part, which are mostly on the wings. I'm going to go with the red again with this colour shift paint. I think it will add a nice shimmer to it. And I also have a blue version of this paint. The final colour to add is gold for the nose cone. And I found that I needed a couple of coats to get even coverage. I think it's time to see if the pilot will fit in her seat. It's a tight fit, but she's in there. No need to use any glue. To help bring out the extra detail on the model kit, I used some black panel liner. This works especially well on the gold. A cotton bud is also great for soaking up the excess to help give you that even coverage. Then I leave it to one side to let the ink dry. And now I can attach the fighter to the base, and I use super glue for this. I've also cut out the clear window panels, and I use some PVA to help glue them into place. I couldn't get them to fit perfectly because they were so small to cut, but I think I did a passable job in the end. Well, we've made it to the turntable, which means this project's finished. I managed to get away with not gluing down the canopy in the end, which is great so I can take it off whenever I want and view all that detail inside. It's also nice and refreshing to make some mods and make it different for the battlefield, because I for one don't like seeing identical figures in identical poses with identical colour schemes. I'm all about variety. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, if I can do it, so can you.